Hello everyone and welcome to Mr. Sonic's 3D print. Today we're gonna have a closer look at this new printer from Creality. It's the CR200B, a fully enclosed printer. It's made to print ASA, ABS, PETG, and of course you can print PLA with it. So let's have a closer look. In the front we have a big door, and when we open it we have access to the build room. The heat bed heats up until 100 degrees. It is mounted on two big rails on the back, which makes it a really stable build plate. On top there is a brand new hot end. It heats up until 255 degrees, which is totally enough in the most cases to print ABS or ASA, and of course PETG and PLA. There are two fans on the back side of the printer. The one on the left is to pull fresh air in, and the one on the right to push the air out of the build room. We can also see the Z end stop right here on top. And they've made a pretty cool screw right behind here, which allows you to adjust the Z8 really easy. So if you're going to change your build plate to PE, magnetic spring plate, or any other build plate, you can easily adjust your Z8 by turning the screw up or down. And here on the front, you can see the quick lock system, which makes it really easy to release the build plate or to put it back in place. On the back side of the printer we have the filament feeder or filament extruder, the filament runout sensor, and of course the spool holder. With the new filament runout sensor, it is much easier to feed the filament in it without getting stuck right here. On top there is a lid, which we can also take off. And now we have full access to the rail system. It is really important that all the rails are greased, so make sure to put a little bit of grease on it from time to time. The pre-installed LEDs are very bright and they light up the whole build room. I'm printing for 1 week now with this printer, so we can have a look at the results. These parts were all printed with PLA, and I have to say I'm really happy with the results. The only thing I can complain about is the fan, which makes it hard to print beautiful overhangs like we can see here. So this was printed at 80 millimeter per second. I've made another one which was printed at 30 millimeter per second, and it came out quite better, but of course it takes longer time. These two were printed with clear PLA and 60 millimeter per second speed, but I'm also really happy with the results. This one takes almost the full build volume, which is 200 by 200 millimeters. The print time was 24 hours almost, 23 and a bit, and it came out really nice. It's some shiny violet silk PLA, and the nozzle was printed separately, which came out also great. These parts were printed with PETG, and I'm also pretty happy with the result. So the layers are really consistent. The only thing what gave me a little bit of headache was the stringy part, because we have a long Bowden tube and PETG is stringy even with a direct drive system. So here we can see some strings, but overall the part is usable and it looks pretty good otherwise. These prints are made with ABS, which this printer is really made for because of the full enclosure. I had no warping at all. As you can see, they came out all without warping. So the enclosure is working really well. This vase was printed in 13 hours and it looks really beautiful. ABS is very flexible, which makes it interesting for a lot of prints. And here also no warping and very consistent layer lines. This is a little upgrade part. I will show you in my next video. It came out really nice. And finally, these were made with ASA. It's my favorite material because it's made for outdoor applications. It is UV light resistant and a little bit stiffer than ABS. So this machine is very capable of printing ASA also. I had to print slower than I thought to get the results that I want to. Here we can see the overhang, so this was printed without supports. But overall, I'm really happy with the result. On this little part right here, we can see where I changed from blue ABS to white ASA. But otherwise the part came out great. And I'm also happy with the result. It's really strong. The layers are nice together. So this is how it should be. The final part right here is made for the 200B. So the printer right here. And we're gonna talk about it in my next video. Overall, the CR200B is not only a really beautiful looking printer, it is also capable of producing some really nice prints. The print quality is comparable to an Ender 3 Pro, except for here we have a fully enclosure which eliminates the warping with every material I've tested. So for now, the only thing I can complain about is the airflow of the stock fan duct. When printing PLA overhangs, you have to make sure that you print with a low speed, and then the overhangs should come out good. Otherwise, this machine is really worth the money. In the next video, I'm going to show you some upgrades for your CR200B. So if you're interested in upgrading your printer and get the most out of it, make sure to follow and subscribe my channel. If you have any questions, feel free to comment here and I will answer as best as I can. Thank you very much and see ya soon.